On today's episode, a roadmap for building independent small businesses, comparing yourself to the wrong people, and our very first question from one of you. All right. Money isn't the point. A business should be about lifestyle, impact, and meaning. And you can still earn a ridiculous amount of money without sacrificing any of that. But you need to set your priorities. And that, to me, is what a lifestyle business is all about. Welcome back to Lifestyle Business Weekly, the show and curated weekly email for people interested in lifestyle businesses and independent entrepreneurship. I'm Corbett Barr. Up first today, I want to tell you about a roadmap for building independent small businesses. This is something we built over at Fizzle.co, which is the company I co-founded and currently the CEO of. And we've been working on this for the past 6 months. And this is a tremendous resource for people building independent small businesses. This is a 9-stage roadmap that you can follow that will tell you exactly where you are and what you need to do next to build your small business. The roadmap is broken down into 3 different phases. Phase 1 is all about laying the foundation. It's all about understanding who your audience is and how you'll serve them. You'll connect with other entrepreneurs and build the support system that you need. Phase 2 is about building what we call a minimum viable audience. This is a group of people large enough to prove whether or not your ideas about the problem that exists in the world really does exist. And at the same time, you'll build a minimum viable product, which is the smallest thing that you can build that these people in your audience will hopefully buy from you. At the end of phase 2, you put together your audience and your product, and hopefully you earn $1 that you can turn into $2 and that you can turn into what we call eventually your minimum viable income, or something people call in the startup world ramen profitable. This idea that you have earned enough that you can support yourself, not comfortably, but just enough to get by and enough to give you the confidence that you can probably work full time on your business. And then finally, phase 3 is where you turn this fledgling business into something that is sustainable and robust and that can grow to meet whatever it is your goals are. Now, throughout this entire small business roadmap, we have worksheets and courses and exercises and action items for you to follow. We really want to give you a sense that we're working with you almost as a virtual one-on-one coach so that you can just progress from step to step to step. And the idea is that if you show up and put the effort in week over week, eventually you're going to make the progress towards building a business. We can't guarantee how long that's going to take. In fact, we recommend that you see your business as an experiment. It's a hypothesis that you're trying to test in the world. But our roadmap will show you the best way to test that hypothesis and hopefully will keep you from making the common mistakes that so many entrepreneurs make that end up having them fizzle out or giving up altogether. So you can check this out. As I've said before, you can sign up for Fizzle and get 5 weeks for free. Just visit fizzle.co/lifestyle, start your free trial, and you'll get full access to the entire roadmap from start to finish. And 5 weeks is a lot of time. You'll be able to actually make it through a good chunk of that roadmap, all for free. And if you do that, or if you're a Fizzle member already, we'd love to get your feedback. This is a work in progress. We've put a lot of effort into it, 6 months, as I said. But there's always room for improvement, and we would love to hear from you. So check it out and let us know what you think. Now I want to talk about when you compare yourself to the wrong people. We're just a couple of episodes into Lifestyle Business Weekly, and I'm excited about how it's turned out. It's a decent start. There's always room for improvement, but it's pretty good so far. At the same time, I watch shows, especially shows like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. This is one that I really admire. And it's easy to watch a show like that and just be so enamored with the production quality and to see how John Oliver can spend 15 minutes on a single topic and really capture my attention the whole time. It's amazing. So you could feel bad about comparing yourself to something like Last Week Tonight and worry that what you're doing as just one person, an independent creator like you or me, isn't quite good enough. At the same time, you watch something like the last episode of The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. And at some point in this episode, Jon goes to thank everybody who's behind the scenes on his show. And they do this one continuous take for 3 or 4 minutes. And Jon essentially says hello to everybody in the staff behind the scenes. And you realize just how many people are behind the scenes. There are probably well over 100 people that he says hi to. So is it really fair when it's just one person? I mean, look at this. It's just me here. There's nobody else here. Let me show you really quick. This is just me in my home studio here. And I've got a little setup here in case you guys are curious. It's not like there's a big production crew here. This is literally just my home office. And I'm standing here talking to the camera. Of course, by the way, if you're interested in a little behind the scenes here, I'll put a link afterwards where I show you everything that I do to produce this, including the equipment that I use. I know a lot of people might be curious about that. Anyway, when you're just one person and you're trying to create something that's worthy of watching or listening to or reading, it's really easy to get down on yourself if you compare yourself to big teams, especially teams like the ones that produce shows like I was mentioning. And those people have decades of experience, and here you are, just one person. But at the same time, you know, it's pretty remarkable that one person can turn a camera on these days and make something that people tune into. There are YouTubers with millions of subscribers and people who get hundreds of thousands of views on every single video they publish, and that's pretty remarkable. So I want you guys not to compare your work to the people who have been doing it for years or the teams of people that have tons of money and effort and experience behind them, but instead to learn from those people. That's great, learn from them, but then put your head down and do the work that it takes to get better. And instead of comparing yourself to those big teams and deep pockets, just compare yourself to where you were last week. And if you do that week over week and you look at your own work versus the work that you produced in the past and try to get a little bit better, eventually you'll look up and you'll look back at those old episodes that you produced or those old podcasts that you made, and you'll just see exactly how far you've come. And it's pretty remarkable if you look at it that way. So do your best work, make it better each week, and stop comparing yourself to all those other people. All right, and finally, today I'd like to take an audience question. All right, I asked you guys for questions, and a bunch of questions came in, some really great ones. And today we have a question from Ryan Tessier. Ryan wants to know whether it's better to build a business with your ideal lifestyle already in mind and working backwards, or to build a lifestyle you like around an already successful business. In many ways, I think this question is a moot point for most people because it's not as if you have a business right now. You're probably starting from scratch, so you might as well have your ideal lifestyle in mind while you're building your business. On the other hand, if you're asking if your ideal lifestyle, if trying to live that while you're building your business, if that can get in your way, I think the answer absolutely is yes, your lifestyle can get in the way of building a successful business. There's a big difference between trying to live a balanced life while building a business, which absolutely is possible, versus trying to travel around the world and do a whole bunch of other stuff while you're building your business and only being able to dedicate a few hours a week or something to it. Building a business is hard and you have to focus. You also have to have a decent amount of time to put into it. I know a lot of world travelers who have tried to build a business while they're traveling. I've known people who have been essentially homeless for many years at a time, people who just travel from country to country and place to place, and they have a great time. Most of those people, however, end up having to settle in to one place for quite some time so that they have the time and focus necessary to really get a business off the ground. Now, I know that you can make progress in 20 or 30 hours a week. I also believe that it's counterproductive when you put in more than 50 hours a week or so into your business. But rarely do businesses get off the ground when they are truly just a side project. And it's even more rare for a business to work out if you're trying to live some sort of jet set lifestyle. So to answer your question, Ryan, sure, live your life and have your ideal lifestyle in mind. But don't expect to build anything really powerful unless you can make your business your primary focus, at least in the beginning while you're trying to get it off the ground. All right, that's it for episode 3. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the support and feedback that I got last week when I launched the first 2 episodes. That was amazing. Please leave me comments. If you are watching this in YouTube, subscribe to my channel. That just helps with the popularity algorithms, I think. I've heard something like that. And leave me a question if you want me to answer it on one of the shows. Just leave it in the comments on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you might be watching this. And thanks a lot. Have a great week. Get all of today's links and many more articles and resources for lifestyle business builders just like you in one convenient, curated weekly email. Head over to lifestylebusinessweekly.com and sign up for free. I'll send you 1 email a week, including a link to the latest episode of this show, new blog posts from me, and resources that will help you make more progress towards building a business that matters. That's lifestylebusinessweekly.com.